Does that frustrate you in comedy? I
I've
know.
had a few people steal some jokes from me, and
Welcome to Branson.
I
You
actually,
just wait.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Branson's very unique. And I was told that the first week to be prepared. Anything that you do that's original will be everywhere.
And I guess other Branson comics watch this.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll look right at the camera and tell you, don't steal my stuff. I'll be upset, and you shouldn't steal. If you're funny, you should write your own jokes.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with doing a stock joke. Hey, you're late. Can I get
sure.
you anything like a watch? And even
I get
somebody
that.
wrote that joke the first time. It was probably a caveman or
Yeah, right.
Archimedes
well, they had
or
to have a
somebody.
watch,
Yeah,
so. Get yourself a sundial.
that's it.
That's
Get
probably
yourself
what it
something.
was.
A stick in the ground. But you
No, I
should.
agree. Stock lines are one thing, but very specific ones,
And especially when you steal somebody's, I mean, man, that's more or less like going in my cupboard and taking 2 cans of ravioli and a can of corn out. That's kind of what that is. You're stealing money from me.
Would you agree, though, that here in Branson, they don't... You just got here to Branson.
Right.
I mean, you've been here before, but I find it odd that people don't believe that. When I'm on a ship,
Oh man,
you don't do that. Or especially when I work in like Los Angeles or something, and immediately if I use a line, if somebody will say that's very similar to so and so,
Right.
and so I'll look it up and then I'll feel bad, like maybe I overheard it. Like I would never purposely do.
and,
That.
and there's nothing wrong with parallel thinking. I mean, there was a time when I started doing stand up and started featuring when everybody had a crocodile hunter bit.
Yeah, sure.
Oh my gosh! And I would see big arguments about, hey man, you wasn't doing that in your crocodile hunter bit the last time we worked together. You stole that part of that joke from me. But yeah, man, you shouldn't steal jokes.
Yeah,
You
well, I do jokes about my family and kids. I try
I
to
do
keep
too,
it personable. And when I go and see a comedian that also talks about having twins, and I know they don't have any kids, and they're doing
Right.
my routine, that's a little bit different. And I take it very personal. In fact, this past year, I'd had enough on the ship, and someone stole from me thinking that I got off the ship. I
Wow.
haven't told this story yet. So they thought I was gone, and I went to the welcome aboard, and they did my bits about having kids and about Branson. I do jokes about living in Branson, and they did it. I was visiting Branson, and I noticed. But it was
Wow.
the same exact routine.
Wow.
And then he saw me at the nightclub that night, and he's like, "Oh, you'll get over it. You'll get over it." And we actually, it escalated quite a bit, and he was removed from the ship.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I don't take comedy.
And that's, I mean, and he knows. And if you go to the Funny Bone, like, the Funny Bone up in St. Louis, and you do somebody else's joke, you won't ever be back. You'll never come back.
Here they say it's a tribute. It's paying
Well,
tribute to you.
Yeah, if you say this person, this is a joke by this person, I don't mind that. Tim, I had a buddy of mine pass away, and he was my mentor, and occasionally I'll do one of his jokes, and I'll say, well, my buddy of mine, Tim, used to say this.
Yeah, right. I do the same thing.
But they don't do that here.
No,
It's not a tribute if you're just taking it.
You're just taking it.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of like the fact that I'm a storyteller. I tell stories, and I mean, it would be hard for somebody to steal something of mine.
Yeah,
I think
we're very, very similar. I am noticing this. We didn't talk before,
Right.
but I do the same
We
thing.
just met. What
Like
is it?
literally, like-
37 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I literally do stories about my day and my life, and my personality,
Right.
because I'm a little quirky
Yeah.
sometimes. And so if someone tries to do that, they look odd. I had a comedian here in town that got a DVD of my act, but I do 2 parts to our act. We have a pre-show, we have a dinner. And so I'll go out and talk with people and get information and kind of do a few jokes about it. And then later on, I'll do punchlines to some of the things we talked about.
Oh,
So
wow.
he just did the punchlines. And they just fell flat. Like he didn't understand why it wasn't funny when he said it. And,
Wow.
so it gets lost.
Most of just about everything I do is a story that something that I witnessed or happened, and I incorporated embellished it a little bit and made it into a good story.
People around here love that.
And I'm also finding, what's your name's Chris? Do you mind if I call you Steve?
That's fine.
That's a lot
I'll
easier
just
for
go
me.
with that. Yeah.
That in a comedy club, I use language that I can't use here in Branson. So I still have bits that were intermingled with language I can't use here in Branson, that I haven't even done yet here because I'm too scared to start doing it because of the way it's programmed. I've been doing this 10 years this way.
Right.
It's kind of like singing Bad, Bad Leroy Brown. Bad, Bad Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole gosh darn town.
Right, exactly.
It's going to mess you up. One of these days, that's going to come out wrong. So I'm not struggling with that. I prefer, and it's funny how I'll tell you this. I know we got to go.
Good time.
Well, this is long distance. This is costing money. The bits that I thought the cursing or that's all it was. The cursing part of it is what made the joke good. I'm starting to learn if I take the cuss words out, it'll stand alone as a good bit.
Right.
That's kind of a pat on the back to me. That it's funny through and through. Funny's funny, no matter if you're cussing or not.
Right. Me too.
And I'm not a vulgar comic, but I'm a Southern guy, man. I say hell, damn, and stuff like that.
Right away, I'm insulted by that kind of situation.